after it was all said and done, about 3 weeks worth of measuring and cutting and installing and grouting, and voila, it's done. It's that easy. I would really love to entertain any questions people have about how it was done and everything like that. Go ahead.
Did you use area and perimeter? Because that's what I'm doing in school.
Did I use area perimeter? Well, first of all, let me quiz you. What do you think area perimeter is?
No, area and perimeter.
Okay, so that's a no for me. I don't know, I just used a stick with a hole in it and went around in a circle. You probably could have helped me out with the math.
And when I stumbled over your stick, you were very kind to me.
I know, even inside I wasn't in that out of shape, it was fine. If you notice, the people came in, I always had my headphones on, I had my music going, and it served a purpose. It would get me really focused, but it would also take away the things other people were doing. So when people walked over it, I didn't notice. But really, I wasn't trying to be rude when I did my music, but you guys were paying for this. So the more I focused, the more I got done in a day, the better it was for everybody. Nathan, did you have a question?
Oh, yes. How much money did it take to build it?
Well, it took a fair amount. I mean, the materials and the labor, probably a private matter, but as far as the materials go, we have approximately 375 square foot of material. And depending on what we got, the stone, it was, it was fair. I don't know how to answer that. And Nathan, no more questions from you.
What's the stone made out of?
This stone is a limestone. It's a tumbled limestone, and this is called a Versailles pattern. And it's got about 6 different size stones in it. And then the outside, the black outline, that is just black slate. You in the back?
Was it more, was it like a puzzle piece, so like every piece you knew where it had to go, or was it just you took a piece out of a bucket and like just put it down?
It's a good question. They all had to be put in the same direction. It's not like a square tile where you can put any side on you want and it'll be fine. These all had little pieces that shot out, and they were like a puzzle piece, and they had to go in a certain direction. So with that in mind, what I did was I did all these black outlines first, and then I did the fill-in. And what happens is when you start doing the fill-in, your tile starts jumping over the lines, and you had to take that into account. So you had to make sure your lines were running purely plumb, north and south and east and west. So there was a puzzle piece, and every piece did have a certain direction that it had to go. So a little bit of both. When I started, this is really the first big labyrinth I've done. So the first couple days when I started laying the limestone tile, I didn't do it the way I did when I finished. I got into a better groove in my last couple weeks on how I wanted to lay it. So it was a little learning process involved with it as well. And I think that's probably the case with every job I work. I've got something that I take away from it, a process that I can use that's a little quicker next time, and same thing was true with this job.
You put several layers of sealer on it?
Yeah, sealer, especially the stone, is real important because stone is a naturally porous material, and it will soak in water, it will soak in dirt, it will absorb all kinds of colors, and also unsealed stone doesn't have as bright of a color to it. It's like putting urethane on a piece of wood. It will bring out the grain and bring out the colors, and it helps keep it clean and last throughout the lifetime of, well, especially me and you, and hopefully a lot more
Does it have to be
generations.
sealed every once in a while? Or really?
Yeah, about every 1 to 3 years, and so I'll come back next year and check, and we'll reseal it as necessary, but it'll depend on how we take care of it as well. Sometimes that will maybe be buff, but I don't know how you guys are going to do it. But it'll be pretty easy maintenance after this. Are you going to ask me another tough question, Nathan?
How do you seal it?
It's really easy. That's a good question. I put my sealer, and what sealer is, it's like oil. It's what we're doing is trying to block out things from going into the stone. And I put it in a spray bottle, and I would go around in a circle, I'd spray it on, and I'd go back with a clean cloth, and I'd wipe it up. And I did that about 4 times, and I buffed it. And if you ever do this at home, don't take the clean white rags that you wipe the sealer on, don't put those in your wash machine. I did that, and I sealed the rest of my clothing line. Yeah, but I have cement. It's a cement you mix out of powder, and it's really sticky. It's not sticky to begin with. You can get it on your fingers, and you won't stick shut. But overnight, it sticks to. It's made to adhere with cement and other materials. So that should stay on there for a long time, 100 years. So don't beat on it with a hammer.
There's one back here. What was the easiest part of making it?
What was the easiest part of it? Oh boy. I think just saying yes to the project. After every step, I would tell myself, okay, that's the hardest part. I thought the layout was going to be the hardest part. And then I thought, well, maybe just doing the black tile was the hardest part. And then I got to the limestone, the interior, the big part of it, and I thought that was the hardest part. And so every part had its hard parts, but I think the easiest was probably just accepting the job. But there's nothing really that hard if you like it. If you really like what you're doing, and I really love every minute of this. I would have loved to have been here another month doing this, but I'm sure there are people who wouldn't have appreciated it. But if you like it, even if it's hard, it's not worth it.
How did you choose the pattern? Where did it come from?
The pattern, Stacy and Sarah, yeah, thank you. Sarah Converse, they got together, and also Dale. They kind of got together and just on the internet pulled just a basic black and white pattern, and we worked with that. We kind of tweaked it a little bit and looked through a lot of patterns and decided that pattern, based on the amount of turns we have and the amount of space we have, would look perfect. Now there was a picture down there earlier that had a labyrinth. Now that was a 42-foot labyrinth. So instead of being 9 foot from the center to here, it would be 21 foot. So that's huge. But I would love to tackle something else. Go ahead.
So would it be? Would that labyrinth be big as this room?
Yeah, 42 foot. This one or the 42-foot one?
42 foot.
Oh, it would be as big as this room. It'd be pretty big. In back there.
Was there any part when you were doing it you got distracted?
Never. Of course, sure. I had people stop in and ask questions, and I don't know if that's a distraction or it's just informational. I would answer questions for people and talk to the people who go to church here, and I'd be nice, but then I'd get my headphones back on so I could focus again. So yes and no. I got distracted sometimes. And when I got offered food. That's very distracting.
That happens a lot at church.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all.
Did you ever dance while listening to your music?
I'm sure I did. I know for a fact that I played the drums on a couple of my buckets. So the girls caught me dancing and singing a little bit, I'm sure. But I always say, if your contractor is singing, you leave them alone. That's a good thing.
Well, thank you. Oh, you have one more question, Nathan?
Yes. So where did you get all the stone from?
I work by myself, but I use a company in Des Moines called the Tile Shop, and they offer just a ton of really beautiful materials. Stone, mostly stone materials, but their stones are beautiful, and we decided that would be the place to go. I got 2 more questions, I guess. I got one in the back, and you'll be next. Go ahead.
How long did you work per day?
Oh, I worked about 7 hours, 8 hours, somewhere in there. 9 to 4, 5, sometimes it'd be later. But my knees, you can only, and it's not because I don't want to work longer, but sometimes your body, and you're still young, so you don't know. But as you get older, it kind of starts to hurt a little more. So I do it for about 7 hours a day, and then I think about it for the rest of the night. I never stop thinking of a project when it's in the middle. So I feel like I worked on it 24 hours a day, but about 6 or 7 hours a day.
I just wonder what other type of work do you do other
flooring out of wood and other materials? And
I'm considered a hard surface contractor. I do hardwood, I do mosaics, I do stone, I do porcelain. What I do mainly, most of the time, is I do remodels. I do a lot of high-end custom remodel baths, kitchens, backsplashes, things like that. I do a lot of the work that a lot of guys just don't want to do. It gets too detailed, gets too elaborate, I don't know, some guys don't want to be in a house for 3 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't care. I like doing the high-end detail stuff, so that's what I do. A lot of shower projects. A lot of guys don't like to do those projects because they take so many different steps to get them right. So I'm really more specific in high-end detail work that I don't have to come back for because that's what I like to do. I don't do carpet, I don't do mine.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.